Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Do not interfere with their children. I don't know putting them on curfew. I don't know putting these children on curfew. Why you let them know after a certain time you don't mix the area together? Do not mix the area. Simple as that. You want to calm down things, you keep everybody on one side till you know you sort it out. You can't be mixing up here, you have to put a curfew. Everything is done pepper, they got to store everything. Whatever is at Western, whatever is at Woodford, whatever is at Brixton, is at their spot. They can put curfew to let them know do not leave that area. And let this thing calm down. Get this thing resolved, man. Get it resolved. Where it come from? Why are you guys envying each other and jealous over each other? Why are you doing that? You're still maturing, you're still developing, you haven't finished yet. So don't watch now. Watch the future, because enough of you guys ain't gonna be around enough of your friends then in 5 years' time. In 10 years' time, you probably don't even look enough at these friends. You got a different life to live. You got a family to sort out, you got children, you got a career, you got to sort out yourself. So enough of these people are not gonna see 10 years' time or 5 years down the line. So you better wake up now and know what you want for your future. I was a teenager too. Enough of my friends from teenage, I don't see them again. So this is what I'm trying to say. You better wake up. You only have one life.
Corey Jr. Davis, known as CJ to his mum and sister, seen here, was just 14 years old when he was shot dead in East London last month. His mum got the call and went straight to the hospital.
I see my baby on the bed and I just touched his hand and he had it bandaged over this side of his face. I could just see blood. And I'm looking at the rest of him is absolutely immaculate. So I'm feeling him, he's warm. I felt his, put my head on his chest, could feel his heart. And the thing is, you could tickle the bottom of his feet and his toes would move. His toes would cringe. So I was like, nurse, nurse, nurse. They're like, no, it's the normal reaction of your body. But anytime I wanted to feel good, I just go and tickle the bottom of his feet. That's what I had to do to know that my son was still there. Tickle the bottom of his feet, even though he's sitting in front of me, even though I can see, even though I know everything they just said to me. I just wanted to know he was still there. I put my head on his chest and I hear his heart. He was so loved.
CJ and his friends were in this playground on Monday the 4th of September. At about 3 o'clock, a silver Range Rover came in from this road here. The occupants got out and started shooting indiscriminately at the group. A 17-year-old boy was shot in the leg and 14-year-old CJ was shot in the head. And this is the car police want to trace.
The images that you can see are very distinctive. It was stolen approximately 11 days previously from Balham in South London. And since the shooting, it has not been seen. There is no trace of this car at all.
He's always there for us, even like being the youngest when our mum passed away. He was like the strongest. He went to school the next day. So to hear he's gone was just heartbreaking. I was like, this can't be true. This cannot be. And to hear, it was by a knife. When his friend came to me and told me, all I wanted to do was get there, and I thought, if I can get there, I don't know what to do. I could help him. And already he was all taped off and I couldn't get to him, I couldn't glimpse him or nothing. And then we got into the car, the police car, and they had the blue sirens on, and I'm thinking, well, why are they speeding to get us there? He's at the hospital. And then when we was at the hospital, we were just waiting. And then when the doctor came, I could just tell before they even said it, And to hear those words was, I just ran out of the hospital. I just wanted to run in front of the bus. And hearing my sister scream off the top of her voice, that just ripped through me. But this was different to our mum. Our mum was sick. He'd been murdered. Someone's taken his life.
This is something been escalating. I didn't know I was next in line. Because if I'd seen this coming, I could have prepared for it. I was at home feeding one set of kids while one set of kids is dying. And that hurt me so much. So what black people are going to do about this? That's the question I'm going to ask. What black people going to do about this? What black parents going to do about this?
Michael Jr. died in the park where he used to play as a child. Today, no football games, just police officers searching for evidence.
No one's understanding that they're taking people's children away from their parents. No one's understanding that. No one's understanding that. Why? I don't know. That's my brother gone. That's my brother, and I'm not going to be able to chat to you again.
Michael Sr., a bus driver from Brixton, says his pain is even worse when he thinks of his son's last moments.
Michael said, "Daddy, did he cry?" Because don't care how tough these teenagers go on. When something reaching these people, they cry out. I know that. Did Michael say, "Daddy"?
Michael Jonas is the 16th teenager to be stabbed to death in London this year.
Outside the Old Bailey this morning, his family were clearly moved by the sentencing of his killers.
I lived with Kwame for a long time, since his childhood, with his dad and the other siblings. So when I say Kwame was humble, very obedient, respectful, and everything, I mean it.
Today, Nathaniel Okinsanya was jailed for a minimum of 20 years. Nelson Idiabeta will also spend no less than 19 years behind bars. The court heard that without the outstanding work of these detectives, seen here with Kwame's family, the two killers would never have been brought to justice.
I know a mother, a father, a brother or sister, or someone in the community knows who done this. It's not a revenge I'm after, but I want Zach's mother to help to bring our community together, because this is too much. It's happening a lot. We have to stop this. In the name of the Lord, we have to. We have to. We have to stop this.
Do you have any idea at all why he was, it would seem, targeted deliberately by this gang?
I don't know. He is not a violent boy. He's got a big mouth, but he's not a violent boy at all. And he's so small. What could he have done? He's a small boy.
Those two make their way towards the group and just started shooting.
And he collapsed.
He went around the corner and collapsed in front of the houses. Yeah.
In April last year, Nadeja's son Kareem was murdered metres from their home in North Woolwich. He was just 16.
He was helpful. He had a lot of empathy. He had, all I can say, he had a big heart. I miss Kareem a lot. I just want to see my son again.
And each time she hears another teenager has been murdered on London's streets, she feels the next grieving family's pain.
I read them briefly, but then afterwards I have to stop because it makes me feel sick. You know, there could be a lot of rumors and gossip about them, or they were into gangs and this and that, but truly, really, they are just children on there. You know, most of them are minors, 16, 15, 14, like Kareem.
CCTV from the night Kareem died shows two suspects approaching where the group was sitting and pulling out what police believe was a firearm.
Right now, I'm just speechless. I don't know what to do, what to say. He was a loving boy, very caring. My heart's literally torn apart, you know. No word can express the way we're all feeling right about now. You know, we're so used to him going out and coming home. The most painful part about this, he just got accepted to university.
At the family home, loss sits at the front door. And at the crime scene, no place is out of bounds for potential evidence. Shortly after 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, the teenager was the victim of a sustained and targeted attack, in the words of the police.
Police want to hear from anyone who saw a black BMW estate car roaming the area here on Wednesday evening. They say it was stolen from a street nearby just before the murder and then abandoned afterwards. And they believe it's linked to the investigation.
Maludi says her brother.
What, next minute they're going to tell me wrong identity? How many times are you going to hear on TV wrong identities? I never thought I would experience this until it's.
On the 14th of February at 10 a.m, I said goodbye to my son before going to work. Sometime after 3 p.m, my daughter telephoned me and she was crying. Billy, my son, had been shot. His life was taken at such a young age. I have to be strong as I have my daughter to live for. I would like to seek justice, appealing for anyone who has any information about this case to come forward and inform the police so they can catch the person who shot him. I'm still always praying to God or Buddha that one day they will find the killer who shot my son so that I can finally find some peace in my heart.
Billy's crime remains unsolved at the moment. We've arrested 6 people thus far in the investigation, but we need more help from members of the public and people that may have information which can help us solve this.
Still no arrest. Scott Kuabitra's family want answers and they want justice.
Can you imagine? She went to his other son's house. When she reached there around 8:30, they got the phone call saying her son has been killed. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Scott and his friends were here in the park last Monday evening at about 8 o'clock when another group of men arrived and a fight broke out. Scott and 3 of his friends were stabbed. They managed to make it here onto Gloucester Road where Scott collapsed, and this is where he died. Detectives are still looking for that group of men said to be wearing.
When we got to the bus stop, he left me there and I went off. Then they called me to say he'd been killed. It hurts. It hurts.
He has never been in a fight with anyone. Nobody can come out and say that Abraham has been in a fight with them. He has never been.
And he was an extraordinarily brave young man.
Yes.
I mean, he won awards for his...
He puts himself in other people's shoes because he was very brave to rescue a girl from a rape victim.
And you say he avoided confrontation, and he was a church-going man, and he was loved by everybody. Why do you think anybody would want to hurt him?
I don't know who has anything against him. I don't know why someone will want to hurt Abraham, because he was a very beautiful soul, and ever since he was little, it was very peaceful. He doesn't like confrontation.
After a couple of weeks of him coming home and saying, Mum, you don't understand this girl, she's so lovely, she's going to be my future wife, I knew that maybe for the first time Shakailis had met a girl that he really liked.
On July the 3rd to die.
I have a 16-year-old daughter who at times can be very manipulative, but would never imagine leading somebody to their death. So
You was a good son. You was a respected family son.
It was around 7:30 Wednesday that police found the body of 15-year-old Moses Lorenzo at an intersection in Milford Mill, and tonight that same spot was transformed.
Don't die on the street. Don't die on the street. The law will take it in my hands to become that leader he could have been.
The cries of his younger sister echoing through a crowd so large, county police had to help control traffic. But the pleas of his grief-stricken mother sent nearly everyone into tears.
Live for good. Don't take your life like this. My son is sacrificed now, but I want you. Make it a good life.
Lorenzo died as the result of a fight. Police say he ran into 17-year-old Justin Dates.
Isaiah Henderson breaks down at his beloved mother's funeral. She gave her life to save him. With heavy hearts, loved ones said goodbye too soon to Brenda McCool. The mom of 11 and two-time cancer survivor went salsa dancing with Isaiah at Pulse nightclub in Orlando when she was gunned down while protecting her son in the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. Brenda was one of 49 killed. The service was full of tears and laughter.
Tell Jesus to step up the salsa game.
As her casket reached the hearse, dozens of white balloons were released into the air.
This could have been your brother, your nephew, or your cousin. Come forward and say something, and stop going by not snitching, because you're helping his mom. His mom lost him.
The mother of 15-year-old Alder Hill couldn't speak.
He didn't deserve that. My sister don't deserve to be crying. That could be anybody's child.
They say Alder was a good boy.
Play with kids. You talk
for her.
He was a good person. He didn't deserve that. My sister don't deserve to be crying. That could be anybody's child.
They say Alder was a good boy who had learning disabilities and spoke very softly, and he loved children.
He liked to play with kids. You talk to him, he loved them. His life is taken at 15. He can't even get like no better view or no another life. He 18. He just started to live his life. He wasn't even up the point.
It's been 1 week since her death, and for Saran James's family members, her legacy on Earth,
we wish to be just half of what she was and what she stood for,
is as fresh as their pain.
This hurt is overwhelming, and my mind goes back on it, and it's going to be a long process for me.
Cleveland James was in the car when his love of more than 40 years was murdered after bullets sprayed their vehicle as the couple drove along Old Greenhouse in the Katy area.
They pointed straight at us, so I don't know what else was going on, but it came straight at us. I didn't even duck. She just slumped over.
Harris County deputies have been looking for this white Audi and the shooter for a week, but today they announced that this teenager, 19-year-old Tacony Blackledge, has been charged with murder.
For the family of 14-year-old Ari and Lily, it's still sinking in.
Less than a block from home?
Cheryl Freeman says she moved her family and her 5 kids from Chicago to Gary 3 years ago to get them away from the violence of the city.
He was an incredible kid, went to school every day, got good grades. He loved basketball. He had big dreams.
Thursday around 4 in the afternoon,
he wasn't the target at all.
Her son was walking home from the barber shop when he was killed by a stray bullet.
No kid from coming to get their haircut should be gunned down because you idiots want to kill each other.
Graduation balloons now mark the spot where he was shot. He was preparing to graduate from 8th grade in June. The oldest boy in his family, his death has left a void, especially for those who looked up to him. In the first quarter of 2019, Gary police say 17 people have been murdered and 30 people shot.
It needs to stop.
Today, Gary's mayor says she has made cracking down on gun violence her #1 priority, but the community still has to step up.
Mother remembering her 17-year-old son, Nestor Lopez, as she struggles to push through the pain.
Devastated. All he did was go for ice cream and chips.
Lopez was hit Saturday night near 43rd Avenue in Osborne. Police say he was struck by a 1997 Lincoln Town car that was traveling at a high rate of speed southbound on 43rd Avenue. Tamira Washington saw the crash.
I heard a boom,
and I saw something go up in the air, and at the same time, I saw a car in the middle lane just going unbelievably fast.
The driver who hit Lopez would flee the first scene and then just moments later strike another vehicle about 2 blocks south of the first crash, killing 28-year-old Edgar Lopez.
This guy killed 2 people. It was not an accident. When you hit someone, you don't stop and then kill another one.
Nestor's mother tonight surrounded by a community who are all hopeful for justice as they remember 2 lives gone too soon.
A coward because he can't turn himself in, but you killed a 17-year-old boy. He had a whole life ahead of him. His birthday's next month. His 18th birthday.
So she didn't answer back, and I called the phone, and the detective answered the phone.
Sylvia Malini couldn't speak, still hardly able to when talking with us today.
I loved her so much. I feel like somebody just ripped my heart right out my chest.
On Saturday, just after 4 in the morning, the Canton Fire Department responded to a call of a person unconscious on Beale Court Southwest. The Stark County coroner identified that person as 14-year-old Sylvia McGee.
So sweet, she would help me when I needed her to help me. Or when she'd like, Grandma, take your medicine, Grandma.
Her aunt, Ashley Malini, says she wants answers.
Why would somebody do this to her? Like, what she do that was so bad? I couldn't understand. I didn't believe it at first.
She had so much going for her. She was so intelligent.
Sylvia's great aunt, Carlina Hanley, says this was a senseless act.
How do we recover from this? You know, the gun violence that was used. It's ridiculous.
Here's what they told us.
And it's sad that somebody just took him like that. He goes to work every single day. He goes to school every day. He just got his first car. He just bought new rims on it on Monday. I had to come see his rims. He was so excited about it. And that was the last time I seen him going out the door.
I want to see him. I want him to see our family, and I want him to see who he took from us.
A mother's anguish at the spot where her son was killed. Tonight, a vigil to remember a young life lost.
And it's so unfortunate that somebody had to do this to my brother so young, and he's somewhere out there still free.
16-year-old William Escamilla was at this Linwood laundromat around 4 p.m. Monday, helping his mom do laundry. Detectives say he went to get a bottle of water out of their car when a man came up to him, pulled out a knife, and slashed the teen's throat. His frantic mother rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. He died from his injuries.
I just want justice for him and my mom.
On the island and insists she would never go out at night alone.
My belief is that it was just a cold, calculated, planned out murder. It wasn't a random act of violence. It is somebody she knew. It is somebody she trusted. And it's somebody who betrayed her.
Gibbons' parents planned to fly to Jamaica Friday.
Come back. Come back. Anjali. 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 Call me. Call me. Call me, Anjali.
A mother cries out for her daughter in a moment so intense you could physically feel the grief in the room. This is the last video of Ashley Perdomo alive. It was taken less than 24 hours before she was...
I lost 2 kids, yeah. One dead and the other on their way to prison. That's 2 kids I'm losing.
2 kids gone in a matter of moments. One killed, allegedly by the hands of his own blood, his sister, who is now in custody to be charged with murder. All started with an argument.
And by the time I heard somebody holler, by the time I come out, he was on in the streets.
In the streets, lying like...
Family and friends gathered at the same spot where less than 24 hours ago, Tequila Smith, the mother of 5, was shot and killed. As the day went on, the memorial at the site of Smith's death
continued to grow. Neighbors tell me the loss of Smith will impact the entire community, but her children are the ones who will feel it the most.
And I just blank because I just hear like, your mama gone. They like, she gone. I just broke down. Like, I can't believe it. I really can't.
Rosaria Smith and her sister Zakia say they spoke to their mom just a few minutes before she was killed.
I just want to say that I love Lee. I always will. And I'm proud to be his wife. You're due to come home this weekend. So we can continue our future together as a family. He was a devoted father to our son Jack. And we'll both miss him terribly.
What can we say about Lee, our hero? We are so proud of Lee. When he was born, the family adored him. He was a precious gift given to us. Lee had a fiery temper. When he was younger, I used to sit on him until he calmed down. Until he was about 15, then he got too big, and he used to sit on me. Lee's dream of growing up was always to join the army, which he succeeded in doing. He was dedicated and loved his job. Lee adored and cared a lot for home, his family, and he was very much a family man.